Welcome back to the Shooting Bar Podcast, episode 5. Um, we'll get started here right away. Just moved into the new apartment, so still a little bit busy, but I wanted to get out there, wanted to talk about a couple of things. So let's get started right away here. So let's recap the past weekend's events. We'll start with the PGA. So you had the RBC Canadian Open, Hamilton Golf and Country Club, Hamilton, Ontario. I didn't watch a lot of this event. I spent a lot of my weekend moving, so I don't have as much to talk about when it comes to the events from this past weekend. Obviously, other than a few things that I saw here and there in between move and whatnot. So first of all, we'll go with the top 5. So you had Rory McIlroy and Tom Kim both at minus 13 in fourth. Victor Perez at minus 14 in third. Ben Griffin minus 15 in second. And the winner was Robert McIntyre minus 16. You had the top 5 there, basically all within striking distance. Coming down to it, from what I saw on the scorecard and a little bit that I saw on the highlights and whatnot, Ben Griffin made a great run at it, trying to at least tie the tournament. So the last 3 holes, 16, 17, 18, he went ahead and birdied all 3 of them to end his round on Sunday. But fortunately for him, Robert McIntyre was able to par the last 3 holes, holding on to his lead, even though it shrunk down to just 1 on that final hole. So there were a lot of great moments in this tournament from what I've read and what I've seen a little bit. But again, I didn't get to watch it, unfortunately. Rory, Tom Kim, Victor Perez all shot 64s on the final day, moving themselves up the leaderboard, securing more FedEx points for themselves, which is obviously huge going into the summer here, trying to rack up a few FedEx points, trying to get into that FedEx Cup playoff. And then he's been on a heater recently, so seen him up there a lot in a lot of these tournaments. I don't know how many I've done or that I've been watching recently, but he seems to be all over the place right now. So he is definitely one to watch for every tournament moving forward. Yeah, it's exciting to see because I do love Rory. I think he's a great player. Obviously, he's stuck with the PGA through the whole live thing, so it is cool to see him kind of coming out and really playing some of his best golf right now. So one low light / I guess highlight of the tournament, depending on how you look at it, and it was kind of both, with how it all happened. So during the final round, CT Pan's caddy went down, slipped on the grass, hurt himself. Unfortunately, he was unable to continue, so that happened on hole 3. So CT, within the rules, looked to the gallery for a volunteer, and he actually got one. I think that guy lasted only like 2 holes though. So, and then they had to replace him with another fan. So again, low light, obviously, Fluff Cowan, caddy. Hopefully he's okay. I think from what I've read, he'll be fine. I think it was just a slip and fall that one time, but very unfortunate for him. But for those fans, that's an awesome experience going out and caddying. I will say I've caddied for caddy before, so for people who don't know what that means, basically you're riding on the back of the cart, tee shots, you run out 150 yards, 200 yards, and basically watch the balls, try and pick out where they go. And you just give them signs, whether it's OB in the fairway, in a bunker, rough, all that stuff. And then go ahead, shoot the distances and do those things. I've never bag carried. I would assume it's a lot harder, and it is 100 times harder on the PGA Tour. I know they get paid a good amount, but it is extremely hard on the PGA Tour because the caddy and the player are a duo. They work very closely together on figuring out distances, all those things. I mean, a lot of these guys are flying their caddies out Sunday after their most recent round, going to the new course so that their caddy can walk the course Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, do the practice round with the player, and then you're jumping right back into it. So these guys are spending a lot of time there. So it is unfortunate, especially for CT, that his caddy went down. Again, I think Fluff is okay, but for those two lucky fans, they got to experience it firsthand. Being caddy, I don't think either one of them really enjoyed it. And I think it's a good thing to kind of show, because I don't think caddies get enough love, probably. That caddying is a hard job, very hard job. So, two volunteers only lasted until the 9th hole before CT was able to get, Al Riddle, who caddies for Paul Barjon. He also lives in Hamilton, so he was able to come out and caddy the back nine for CT. He knows him from the PGA Canada Tour, so he was able to do that, at least get a professional caddy back out there. But again, it was a cool experience for those two fans. They probably don't ever want to do it again, though, because neither one of them lasted very, very long. So, but cool experience. Again, that was kind of the low light / highlight of the round. Everyone was talking about it. I think the first volunteer did like a whole interview and everything. So, definitely check it out. See what he has to say. So, we'll move on to the LPGA U.S. Women's Open at Lancaster Country Club, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I was 100% wrong on how I thought this course would play. It absolutely wreaked havoc on these players the entire week. So, here are the top 5. Apricia Ubol. Sorry, I probably jacked that up. Comes in at 5 at +1. Andrea Lee, Allie Ewing came in tied for 3rd, even. Yanako Shibuno, -1 in 2nd, and then Yuka Sasso -4 for the win. That's 4 rounds. So the course was wrecking havoc all weekend, and Thursday and Friday. It was insane to see. So, and it wasn't just, certain players. It was every player was having a rough time at this course. So Nelly misses the cut after, on day 1, she shot a 10 on the par 3, number 12. Go watch the video. You can see how ridiculous that par 3 was. And the pin location was rough. Trying to get it to stay on that green, it was insane to watch. But with Nelly missing the cut, also Brooke Henderson, Rose Zhang, Lexi Thompson all missed the cut as well. Those are all huge names that missed the cut. So, it's hard to say. Again, I didn't get to watch this tournament. I watched a little bit of it on Sunday instead of watching the men's, just to kind of see, because I was checking in on it, on my phone while I'm moving and whatnot, and kind of saw the scores and everything, and I was a little bit shocked, especially, a 10 out of Nelly on a par 3 is just crazy. She's the number 1 golfer in the world for a reason right now, So I can't say that I enjoyed it, but it was an interesting tournament to watch, I guess is what I'll say. So, getting back to number 12, I guess the low light of this tournament. One, it was a brutal hole. That hole was probably the worst hole for these players. I didn't get to look at the average scoring on that hole compared to the other holes, but I can't imagine that it was very good. It wasn't allowing a lot of birdies and was headlined by someone actually hitting a bird, a la Randy Johnson from years ago in baseball. I mean, that pretty much summed up how hole number 12 went. Like, someone literally drilled a bird with their tee shot. It was insane to watch. I have played that course. It's not an easy course, but I really thought that they would be able to go out there and score a little bit. Back when I played it, I wasn't a good golfer. Still really not a good golfer now, but I was even worse back then. So, you know, I wasn't basing it off of what my score was. I was basing it off of my talent level at that time compared to what I believe these women are, which, again, are the best in the world. I thought they'd be able to score, but that course was extremely hard. It played so difficult, and I would like to see them go back. I think it would be fun to see them go back because I think maybe playing it more than once, can't even remember the last time they played there. It would be a little bit easier for them. They would kind of understand it, kind of know the course a little bit. Kind of know the ins and outs. And again, like, on number 12, like, you have to know that even though, yes, it's par 3, and yes, like, you want to score on the par 3s and whatnot, it's not a scoreable hole. So that's the hole that, you play to the back of the green, 2-putt it, call it a day, get out of there with your par. So, and I think some of the girls started to kind of realize that, and they started to understand that, and that's how they started playing that hole after day one. But day one was ridiculous, but that's the scores were on that hole, because it wasn't just Nelly, there were other people too. So, again, all in all, kind of a disappointing LPGA tournament. I'm not gonna lie, because I was really looking forward to it. Love watching the women play. Love the U.S. Open. So it was very unfortunate to see that no one really played well. I mean, when the winner's -4 for 4 rounds, that's, you're averaging a birdie a round, or you're averaging 1 under a round. Like, brutal, but, it's okay. On to the next one. So hopefully, this week we have another tournament coming up for them. So hopefully it'll be a little bit more entertaining and whatnot. Golf news this past week. So you had the NCAA Men's Championship. I already went over the individual last week, so check out that podcast if you didn't see it, or you don't know who won yet. Because that was done by the time I was filming last week. So, but the team event was not done yet. So we'll go through the team event at least. The first round matchups were Georgia Tech upset number 1 Illinois 3-1. Ohio State upset Vanderbilt 3-1 also. Auburn upset Virginia 3-1, and Florida State upset North Carolina 3-1. All upsets in the first round. So the 8, 7, 6, and 5 seeds all won the first round, which I don't think anyone saw coming, but that's how good the men's side is right now. Like, there are so many good teams, so many good players in college that doesn't matter where you're seated. Like, it's anybody's game out there. So the second round was probably the most exciting round in this whole thing. Florida State, number 5, beat Georgia Tech, number 8. They beat them 3-2 after going to a playoff hole in the final matchup. And then Auburn versus Ohio State, 6 versus 7. Auburn beat Ohio State 3-2 after going to 3 playoff holes, creating an absolute banger of a match. And actually just moved to Auburn, of all places. So talking to a few of the people down here and talking to some of the golfers and whatnot, and, they were all pumped up and they were all watching it and all started drinking at, 4 o'clock when the match started at this time. And they're drinking until 10 o'clock watching the match because it just kept going to more playoff holes and whatnot. So they're all excited for that one. And then the final was set with number 6 Auburn versus number 5 Florida State the next day. So next day, again, Auburn versus Florida State. Auburn wins on hole 17 of the last match, clinching their first national title for the team. So big congrats to them. And just a little reminder, someone may have said, watch out for Auburn last week. Don't know who it might have been, but someone might have said that. They got hot. They won the matches they had to win. And again, don't know who it was, but someone might have called this. So just saying, very impressive for Auburn now. Again, clinching their first national title. So very big thing for them. Very, very big thing for the school, for the program and whatnot. So keep an eye out on them for, moving forward into next year and the year after. You might see a lot of people coming to Auburn now to play golf for this team because they know that this is a good team. They know that this is a program that's going to go out and try and win and going to do what they can to bring that national title back again and defend it. And in other news, I forgot to mention this for the LPGA event. Charly Hull was in the spotlight, I guess, where she was seen sparking up a dart mid-round. Those who don't know what a dart is, it's a cigarette. Sparking up a dart mid-round at the U.S. Open, which, I mean, looking at the video and seeing how everyone reacted, especially, the next round, I think someone offered her zins and stuff. Like, everyone's having fun with it. Like, you don't see that much. You don't see professional players out there, cheefing darts and whatnot on the golf course during a round, especially during the U.S. Open, other than, probably John Daly. But everyone knows John Daly is a one-of-a-kind professional golfer, So it was cool to see someone kind of going through it and, having to grab a dart mid-round just to kind of get through the round. I think everyone knows that feeling as amateur golfers and, recreational and whatnot. Like, round's going rough. Like, a beer and a hot dog at the turn will change it all around. So, I mean, it was cool. It was funny to see Charly Hull do that. She did say she's trying to quit smoking, so hopefully she can. But did create one of the funny viral moments from that tournament. And again, kind of a highlight from that tournament. Just very funny to see her doing that. But I mean, there was really nothing else going on in that tournament other than some rough play because that course was just so hard for these players. So real quick, we'll move forward. Upcoming events. So we do have 3 events this weekend, which is very exciting. You have PGA, LPGA, Live event. Again, I'm kind of pumped for that because it's a lot of good golf, a lot of things going on. So if you got multiple TVs, if you don't get your computer out, try and watch all 3 of them at the same time. I know I'm going to try to. Very excited for this. So first, the PGA, you have the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday, Murrayfield Village Golf Club, Dublin, Ohio. Excited to see that. Again, we're kind of in that slower time right now, leading up to a new major. But with the U.S. Open coming next week for the men, I think there's going to be a lot of players playing in this tournament to trying to get a little bit of practice, get their feet back under them again if they took off the last tournament, which I know a lot of them did. So trying to get their game kind of where they want it to be for the U.S. Open. So it's going to be a lot of good play out there. It's going to be a lot of players trying to kind of work on their game and whatnot. So it'll be an interesting event to see where these players are at after, the PGA Championship. And I know Scotty had a rough time last couple of times he was out there and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about it. I'll give you guys the picks later, so I'll just give you guys all of them at one time. So we'll go through what the events are. So for the LPGA, you have the ShopRite LPGA Classic presented by Acer Seaview Bay Course, Galloway, New Jersey. Shout out New Jersey. I got to do some research on this. I got to figure it out. Like, I don't know if the LPGA is like based in Jersey or something like that, but they play a ton of events in Jersey, which I personally love being from Jersey originally. Um, so it's awesome. And again, being a huge LPGA supporter, fan, whatever you want to call it, call me a stan if you want for the LPGA. I don't really care. Doesn't matter to me. Um, it is awesome to see that they play so many courses in Jersey, and they play so many of these events in Jersey. And I'm sure there's probably a lot of people who have no idea what ShopRite is. And I might be one of the only ones, but probably my favorite grocery store, and it's probably the best grocery store in the nation. Unfortunately, I think it's only in the Northeast, probably only in Jersey. I don't know if I don't think I saw it in Pennsylvania at all, and I don't think I saw it in Maryland or Virginia when I lived there. So again, high end grocery store. But I love that the PGA plays so many events in Jersey. I get to shout out Jersey every week too, so I love it. Um, but outside of them, we also have Live Golf going ahead and having an event this weekend. I know they're kind of hit or miss on when they're having their events, so it is cool to see that they're having their event. They have the Live Golf Houston at Golf Club of Houston, Houston, Texas. I like watching the live events. I like the whole team aspect of it, so I'm excited to see that. We haven't had an event in probably like a month, maybe even 2 months. So it's cool I'm excited to see the live event kind of jumping back out there again, and hopefully it'll be a fun event to watch. I don't know that golf course. I don't think I've ever seen a round played there, so I'm interested to see what that golf course looks like and kind of how it plays. I haven't looked up the weather for any of these, but hopefully it's going to be clear weather and we'll have a lot of low rounds. Hopefully the Seaview course or the Bay course at Seaview will play a lot more forgiving than what Lancaster did for the LPGA. But real quick, season scoring update. Again, reminder: me, Dylan, and our guest or random of the week picks the player / team. You get 1 point if they make the cut, 2 points if they make top 25, 3 points for top 15, 4 points for top 10, 5 points for top 5, and if you pick the winner, you get 10 points. So, last week's picks, we were all horrible, like horrendous. I picked Taylor Pendrith and Gabby Ruffles. I think Taylor Pendrith made it in the top 25 for me, which helped me out, got me 2 points from that, and then Gabby Ruffles made the cut. So 3 points. I'm at 24 for the season. Dylan had Thigala and Lexi Thompson. Neither one made the cut. He has got 0 points this week. So he's at 26 for the season. And then our random person last week picked Rory and Hannah Green, 7 points gained. Rory top 5 finish, obviously. Hannah Green was top 10, or I'm sorry, top 25. So he got his 7 points. So they're up to 16 points now. So they're making a run for Dylan and I at the moment. So we'll see how it plays out. This is a big week for us, obviously, because we have 4 picks going in this week. So there's a lot of potential points out there for us, and there could be a lot of change on the leaderboard for the season. So we'll see how it goes. So for the PGA, I picked Victor Hovland, Dylan picked Rory McIlroy, and the random person picked Scotty Scheffler. So we'll see how that goes. I like Victor Hovland this week. I think he's kind of due for a win right now. He's due for a top 5 finish. So I think I'm very excited for him. Dylan obviously goes Rory McIlroy because he's playing some of the best golf he's played in years probably, and excited for him because man just got divorced and he's out here playing the best golf he's played. Like, it's awesome to see. So love Rory for that, and then Scotty Scheffler. So of course the random picked that. LPGA, I went with Lexi Thompson, kind of, I want to see her win an event before she retires at the end of the season. So I'll probably be picking her a lot more often. But between her and Gabby Ruffles, I'm rooting for both of them. Obviously, love Gabby Ruffles. Think she's amazing. But I'd love to see Lexi go ahead and win this tournament and get another win under her belt before she goes off into the sunset. So hopefully it's this tournament, maybe even a couple more after that. But we'll see. Dylan picked Rose Zhang, and then the random picked Hannah Green. So a couple of great picks there. Rose is a great golfer. So so is Hannah. So it'll be interesting to see how those two kind of bounce back, and Lexi really, especially Rose and Lexi missing the cut and whatnot. So I'm interested to see how they bounce back after missing the cut at the U.S. Open. I'll be definitely watching those two closely, as well as obviously Nelly missing the cut also. So for Live Golf, I think this is the first time that we're picking Live Golf. So for the team event in Live, I picked Legion. Dylan picked Crushers, and the random picked Ripper. I did a little bit of research, I'm not going to lie on this. A little bit more than I would normally do. Legion's like number 2 in Live Golf right now in points. So I went with them. I think also you have John Rahm on that team. Like, great leader, great player. I'm not too worried about it. I think they'll end up top 3. Crushers, obviously a great team also. They have DeChambeau on it. I think he's their captain. And then Ripper has been playing really well. They just have a good team all around. So they're fun to watch as a team. And, they're always in the running for the top 5, top 3. So they'll be fun to watch. Again, I love watching the live events, so I'm excited that we finally have one back on again. For the individual, I picked Taylor Gooch to win the individual. Dylan picked DeChambeau, and the random picked John Rahm. Dylan thinks Crushers and DeChambeau are going to sweep it this week. I would need to do some research. I don't think anybody's swept a live event yet, like as far as team and player. So I doubt that's going to happen. That's kind of why I went with someone who wasn't on my team. But we'll see. This might be the first time that there's a clean sweep at a tournament for Live. We'll see. Taylor Gooch, he was the Live Player of the Year last year for a reason, so I think he's still a great player. I know he didn't play well at the PGA Championship and whatnot, but I could care less. I think he's going to go out there and play his heart out. And then John Rahm's John Rahm. So we'll see. Again, great weekend with PGA, LPGA, and Live all having events. So check it out. If you got an extra TV, hook it up. Watch all 3 of them at the same time, hopefully. But that's all I got for you guys this week. Make sure, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe, follow, check out the Instagram page, and check out Mayor Golf Academy TikTok for little snippets. And we'll see you guys next week.